Jim and me left that Cherokee Dude Ranch at 6 a.m. the next morning. You know, the mountains are kind of gray that time of morning. Even the ones right up next to you. Well, we drove for about 2 hours, and we stopped and we had biscuits, and gravy, and sausage, eggs over easy, toast and coffee. And the next 4 hours to Cheyenne were spent with beer, cigarettes, and silence. You know, the first time I met Jim was at breakfast. We got to talking after I handed him some cream, and hell, that was right off the bus from Kentucky. Oh, Cheyenne. Let me tell you about Cheyenne. Fucking I mean, frontier days is the central fucking center of the West. Cowboys everywhere. Mama loved that. I mean, every son of a bitch you meet is either a wrangler, or a rider, or a stinker, or a killer. The bars are hyped up Dodge City, filled with foul-mouthed, foul-spirited, mean bar fights. Well, now, Jim Bulldog, I really don't know how to judge that sort of thing, but he made some money. And at night, we'd go out drinking. Well, now, cowboy, I don't think I like being punched into like that. Now, why don't you just go ahead and say you're sorry? I don't believe I heard anything. Then why don't you just apologize, you pudgy little prick? Well, I said to stop it, all right? And the 2 beers I'm holding go flying across the counter. And the guy hits me, and I hit him, and we're rolling around on the floor. Then all of a sudden, there's a fight. Because Jim's got the guy by the wrist, holding him up in front of his face, telling him to calm down. Now just calm down. He was talking in this real low voice. I still don't understand why he talks like that. But he said, just calm down now. What are you hitting my friend for? You some kind of damn fool or something. I'll kill you, but it won't. Now I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to reach down and pick up my friend. And if you make one wrong move, you will never see your mama again. Well, Jim lets the guy loose, reaches down to pick me up, and the guy makes a move to kick Jim in the head, and all of a sudden Jim's all over. And there's a little flash of steel and some crunching sounds, and the guy's laying down on the floor and he's bleeding. Jim picks me up and we leave. Look here, buddy. You're supposed to get me out of trouble, not get me into it. Look up my damn courage, bloody. Turns out that courage was a .22 single-shot pearl-handled pistol. Jim kept in his back pocket for protection. It could really hurt if you got hit with a butt end of it. You got me in enough trouble around here. Look, let's go down there to New Mexico. I got offered to ride down there to the New Mexico State Fair at Roswell. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. Come on, let's pack it up. Well, we left. And we stopped and we got us some beer, some gin, and some cheese knaps. And we took off. Now, the first leg was about 650 miles south on I-25 towards Albuquerque. We made that in about 15 hours. That old Falcon can make good time sometimes. Well, when we get down to Albuquerque, we pull in one of them little skillet truck stops, you know, one of them little old greasy places. Well, Jim had been muttering and moaning, beating the wheel and cussing all the way down. I didn't know what's wrong with it. When he gets out of the car, the truck stop, he just slams the shit out of the door. Well, we go inside. Sit down at the counter. And Jim orders 4 eggs over easy, toast and coffee. When I've been eating a lot of eggs lately, and the yolks start to make me sick. So I got me a couple of scrambled. Well, now when they bring the stuff, all Jim's eggs have been cooked in one skillet. Now I don't know how much you eat in them little skillet truck stops, but they got these little bitty round pans. And they're only meant for 2 eggs. So if you put 4 in there, all the white just runs to the center. And even if you do flip them over, when you cut into them, it's just like pure protoplasm. Well, that's what happened to Jim, and he sent them back. Through that little horizontal window, we see that little kid that was cooking, say, if he knew how he wanted them, he'd get them. If he wants them over hard, by God, I'll give them to him over hard. And Jim slams his coffee down the counter. He says, take him over hard up your ass, you little prick. picks up the sugar jar, and slings it through the window. But I figured it wasn't a good idea to hang around and get our gas, so we got out of it. Well, we hadn't gone 15 miles down the highway until I heard it. I heard the siren, and I saw that blue light. Well now, cowboy, you sure do speed down this highway like you own it now, don't you, mister? And you sure do throw a mean jar of sugar, cowboy. Step out of the car. When now Jim gets out, what's being said is kind of fuzzy to him. Up against the car, cowboy. You know, you sure are dumb, cowboy. Because you see, I was having a Danish right down the counter when you pulled that stunt with that shit. What do we have here? A little weapon. When I step back to my car, mister, and Jim says, you don't have to jerk me, I'll go on my own. The cop says, what'd you say to me? What'd you say to me, you smart little asshole? And Jim says, let go. When all of a sudden they're fighting. And the cop's got Jim by the head and throws him up in the car. Now, have you ever done anything so fast that it was over before you even knew it started? I reached under his seat and I grabbed this little L-shaped sort of thing, this little tire iron, and I'm up on the front of the car, and the cop sees me coming. Now he starts to go for his gun. Jim lunges for it, and I came down. I came down across that guy's head, and there was a cracking sound like you have never heard before. And even if you are a doctor, and even as my momentum carried me and I rolled along that pavement, I knew I had knocked that guy over the fence. Well, I get up and go over to greet our dead New Mexico Highway Patrol. Jim looked kind of funny there with that messy dead man laying all over him. I mean, this guy had exploded. His brains and his blood were everywhere. My hands felt sticky for days. He was so dead, he looked like that was the only way he had ever existed. I mean, I'm a doctor and I've seen a lot of dead people, but it was always under such clean conditions. This guy was a totally nauseating sack of garbage. Well, I reached down and I rolled him off of Jim. Jim gets up, gets in the car and turns it around. I pick up the tire tool. I get back in the car and we take out north towards Albuquerque on 44. When I threw the tire tool out the window near a town called Cuba, New Mexico. See, the idea was to drive up through Four Corners, up into Utah, and going up into Canada. This whole thing with the cop happened in a gray, dead air, 6 a.m. That time pops up a lot with Jim to me. At least it did.